right, hey everybody. I'm David. I'm going to be sort of emceeing this evening. So this is a Moveable Beast. It's the first one. So yay! And so what the Moveable Beast, a Moveable Beast is it's something that POG, Arts of Tucson, is putting on. They're a poetry collective in town that runs readings. Yay! They've been around since the 90s. I don't exactly know when. But so what this is it's just supposed to be a place where artists, poets, musicians from all over Tucson can come together and share their work with people that they might normally not be able to. So, and that's really the whole thing. So, yeah, that's it. So there's going to be 3 more of these throughout the summer. It's going to be on the 3rd Friday of every month at 8 p.m. So June 17th, July 15th, and August 19th, but you don't have to remember that. And so, real quick, I'd just like to say thank you to Thomas, who has been putting this whole up here tonight. And this is a great space. He's given us the food and the drink. So, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, get a haircut. Thomas is a master stylist from Oregon, and he did all the fancy stuff. So please get a haircut from Thomas. Yeah. All right. So also to let you know that if you want to get involved with POG, you can go to our website, which is pogartstucson.org. And we're looking for people to get involved with us. If you're looking for board members, board associates, so let us know. And if you could raise your hand, the POG board members here. I'm one. Charles, Cynthia, Lisa's somewhere I can't see. Oh, there she is. Yeah, just talk to one of us, and we'd love to hang out, figure out how we can work together. So I'd just like to acknowledge that we are on the ancestral lands of the Tohono O'odham, more recently in the 20th century, the Paskagaki, and more in the past, the Hohokam people. And it is our hope at POG that we might learn to, mostly people who look like me, share power and create a new dynamic and a future we can all live and love in. POG is also, POG is also a safe space, so if you want to read tonight, please, if there's any need to do a content warning, please do that. But also, if you have any problems, please let one of the board members who raise their hand know, and we will take steps to address that. Yeah. So there's lots of poetry going on in Tucson right now, not just us. And so I'd just like to say Revolutionary Grounds, which Naomi is somewhere here. She is running one. First Friday of the month at 5 p.m. Is that right? Yes. Yeah. The Splinter Collective is doing Interrupted by Trains the 3rd Saturday of every month at 8 p.m., which is tomorrow. The U of A Poetry Center has an exhibition of fine press and book arts going on in the Jeremy Ingalls Gallery. Please check that out. That's pretty great. And the Spittoon Collective, which is an international collective that does readings all over the world over Zoom. They're actually, I think, they have David Siemens runs it here in town. And I don't know what they're doing at this moment because I couldn't figure out on their website today. But I know they're doing things. And then the Spark Collective is having a poetry reading on Saturday, June 11th at 6. And that's a poetry open mic too. All right. So on our flyers it said that Eric Matchett was going to be here tonight. Unfortunately, Erica and Mary Rose, his partner, got COVID. So they can't make it, but they're doing okay. So hopefully next month. And yeah, that's about it. I'm missing anything? Oh yeah, but we have, is it Laura or Sarah? Sarah. We have Sarah at last minute, and I'm very grateful to Sarah, who is actually going to be starting us off this evening. So please give her a round of applause. Thank you.
Hello. My name's Sarah Reed. I'll be doing some songs for you, but full disclosure, they're all covers. So. I'm getting older, I think I'm aging well. I wish someone had told me I'd be doing this by myself. There's reasons that I'm thankful, there's a lot I'm grateful for, but it's different when a stranger's always waiting at your door. Which is ironic, 'cause the stranger seemed to want me more than anyone before, anyone before. Too bad they're usually deranged. Last week I realized I crave pity. When I retell a story, I make everything sound worse. Can't shake the feeling that I'm just bad at healing, and maybe that's the reason every sentence sounds rehearsed. Which is ironic, because when I wasn't honest, I was still being ignored, lying for attention, just to get neglection. Now we're estranged. Things I once enjoyed just keep me employed now. Things I'm longing for, someday I'll be bored of. It's so weird that we care so much until we don't. I'm getting older, I've got more on my shoulders, but I'm getting better at admitting when I'm wrong. I'm happier than ever, at least that's my endeavor, to keep myself together and prioritize my pleasure. 'Cause to be honest, I just wish that what I promised would depend on what I'm given, not on his permission. Was it my decision to be abused? Things I once enjoyed just keep me employed now. Things I'm longing for, someday I'll be bored of. It's so weird that we care so much until we don't. But next week I hope I'm somewhere laughing, for anybody asking, I promise I'll be fine. I've had some trauma, the things I didn't wanna, was too afraid to tell you, but now I think it's time.
Thank you.
I don't live for you, I live for me. If only that were true, if only I could prove that on my own I'm worthy. It's funny how it feels like we're talking to each other on the other line, but it's quiet here. Nothing playing but the song of asystole, 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 asystole. And I can't get my head to say anything my heart could ever understand. I want to forget, but the feeling isn't something I can let myself let go of. The trouble is the way you stick to any part of me that remains intact. But if I pull the plug, it isn't only me that I'm holding back. Asystole, 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 asystole. Revive your love in me. Revive another side of me. My eyes to see the poison devotion in me. Revive, 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 asystole, asystole. September. I don't wanna die in June. I'd like to start planning my funeral. I've got work to do. Ooh. the marching band to play as you speak. I'll feel like throwing up. You'll sit and stare like a goddamn machine. I'd like to plan out my part in this, but you're such a narcissist. You probably do it next week. And I don't get a choice in the matter. Why would I? It's only the death of me. Only the death of me. Pull the plug, but be careful. I don't want to die too soon. I think there's good in you somewhere. I'll hang on till the chaos is through. Doomsday is close at hand. I'll book the marching band to play as you speak. I'll feel like throwing up. You'll sit and stare like a goddamn machine. I'd like to plan out my part in this, but you're such a narcissist. You'll probably do it next week. And I don't get a choice in the matter. Why would I? It's only the death of me. It was so quiet, no friends and family allowed. Only my murderer, you and the priest who told you to go to hell. And the funny thing is, I would have married you if you'd have stuck around. I feel more free than I have in years. 6 feet in the ground. Doomsday is close at hand. I booked the marching band to play as you speak. I feel like throwing up. You sit and stare like a goddamn machine. I'd have liked to plan out my part in this, but you're such a narcissist. You did it on Halloween. I had no choice in the matter. Why would I? It's only the death of me.
You get the good stuff here. You know people. Street feeling like a stranger, with an open heart, open container. I've got a stack of mail and
It's a shower beer, it's a payment plan. There's helicopters over my head. Every night when I go to bed, spending money and I earned it. But when I'm lonely, that's when I'll burn it. Do you feel ashamed when you hear my name? I asked you, how is your sister? I heard she got her degree. I said, that makes me feel old. And you said, what does that make me? I asked you how it's playing drums. You said it's too much shit to carry. And what about the band? You said they're all having babies. Do you feel ashamed when you hear my name? Anyways, don't be a stranger. Anyways, don't be a stranger.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Great job, sweetie. Great
And
job.
that was Sarah. All right, so I'm going to read a few poems because we need more open mics. A lot of people do open mic stuff. So please feel free to sign up if you have anything. And then after me, Cynthia's going to have a presentation of some of her art. She's a wonderful painter, and so if you want to set that up while I do this. This poem is about self and its definitions. It's also about eugenics, which sucks. So, here we go. So lies the body eugenic, Ashkenazi and cracker mutt. Ashkenazi and cracker already conceits. Never was any one or two things, eugenically speaking. This is a mongrel pneuma, purity's limit. I is a mutterer, no theme supreme. What is love's limit? Could it be, by definition, undefined, unlimited? Madness is dissolute speaking. Subjectivity. Calamity's acceptance, revealing love's trace. Beneath the atoms of the sentence, a high-energy particle, invisible except where it's been. This is a poem where I asked a really stupid question to some really well-known poets. Yeah, I really made an ass of myself, so here we go. Walter Ben's Amen. Don't repeat Genesis 1. The poem isn't the work of its master, much less its God. No master, father, king, God here. Band sings Por Santos, spin thee, diddle thee. Masculinity is delusional constrictor. Oh, here comes the little god. He masturbates to the law so beautifully. Insanity, this inanity. Time to join Job in the dust. Practice modesty. Dark, hidden. Kitsch dreams are made of this. Who is I? A conceit, a utility, an expansion, a binder, a pain in the ass. To dance syncretic, a synthesis passes by. May's answer rings as a bell. Love. And this is a poem about sitting next to a pond. Spun dandy spinnaker, duck beak standing this fly-winged ether. Space cadet eyes sound the wooden cephalopod, clarion, beating rhythmic reeds and trees. Hewn surface, tessellated line. Hawk screech the rippled other in eagle's pond. Green feet beneath. Ceridian dragon beats tensioned surface. Whole words, longless, full speech. You good? Thank you.
Talk through my forehead. I know. Well, you know. Let me put this up here, but I'm going to try not to look at it. Hi, thank you. Thank you for coming. A long time ago, I started out in 3rd grade as what I called a poet. You know, do the dishes, feed the fishes kind of poet. And somehow ended up in a whole different pond in the visual art world, thinking that perhaps visual artists were not as crazy as poets were. And I've certainly learned a lot of things about that. But one of the things that I've come to learn is how similar writing is and creating poetry is to painting. I like to think of it that way anyway. I think it's two currents in the same stream. We both pull from our life experiences, the people we know, relationships, where we live, how we learn, what we look at. It all informs our process, our practice, and our art. I think I've been mostly affected by the natural world, it being slightly more understandable than the human one for me. And I have benefited from the kind of privacy or isolation or alienation or solitude, whichever you prefer, that art requires. Where it gets interesting with all these things that we pull from to make our art is the person, right? Who makes it? Who's doing it? And what about what they do is important to them? How do you know what they love? By listening to them. You know what Sarah loves, and you know she has a wild sense of humor. You know, I mean, you know that now from listening to her songs. And it's really terrific. A long time ago in art school in the Bay Area, a wise person told me that I was worried that nobody would be interested in what I was doing. Why should anybody care what I was doing? And they said, in fact, if a person is doing it, other people are going to be interested in. It's the way we're made, okay? Other people is the main topic of our lives, all our lives, what other people do. You can't do something that's meaningless to another human being. It's not possible. I thought those are really wise words. And, you know, there's still things like taste, and you might not prefer the way a person works, or maybe they're an asshole, you know, I mean, we all have our cultural identities and proclivities and emotions and personalities. So you might not like what everybody likes, but all of it is part of our conversation as people, all of it. Like some of the writing exercises you might be involved in, painting practice can lead to, if you're lucky, to kind of a sense of creating multiples or a series, or you develop a theme, you fall into a piece of art, and all of a sudden you have more to say about it. And each piece builds on the piece before, like chapters in a book, right? You're not done with that storyline. You dug in, and there was a whole lot more to that character than you thought there was. And I've been lucky to do that several times so far in the last 40 years I've been making art. And I always welcome it. It's a gift. It's a real gift. So maybe if I were a writer, I'd be a novelist. I don't know. The other thing I notice similarities between writing and painting is language, right? You know, there's nouns in painting. There's main characters, there's things, there's places, something that is identifiable, recognizable, familiar, right? And a lot of us only like those kinds of paintings. And then there's also verbs. You know, there's paintings that imply motion, or they are all about the activity of painting. And so that kind of structure. There's even adverbs or adjectives, you might call them, that help us understand and share what the painting's all about. Maybe I'm stretching it a little bit, trying to tie all these things together, but I do know that in order to practice these kinds of art forms, you have to get obsessed and stay obsessed. You have to want to do this every day, more than anything else. If you can do anything else, do it, right? But if you can't, then you've got to write, you've got to paint, you've got to draw, you've got to make music, you have to dance, whatever it is for you. You have to cut hair. But the main thing that reminds me is that of what I'm there to do is to pay attention, to push my personal boundaries, and step into those rough places where I don't know where I'm going, and those places have never seen me before either, and to kind of to experience that transformation and that sense of newness and renewal. And I'm addicted. I mean, there's no question in my mind. So that would be my advice to all you writers out there, is get obsessed and stay obsessed. Thank you. Thank you. I want to thank my beautiful assistant for holding up the fort here.
Thank you, Dad.
Yeah, probably. You're all,
All right. And Charles, are you ready? Now we'll give Charles a minute. We'll switch him. Lisa, are you ready? This is Lisa. Woo! Here you go, dear.
Probably might be a little taller than I.
Yes, thank you, Cynthia.
Wow. You really can't see people out there. Hi. I'm gonna share a poem from the chapbook that a bunch of POG people put together this year. This is called From the Lookout Tower. I'm sleeping with E.E. Cummings. The complete poems, black cover from 72, jammed against my thigh. Not refined, more buck than bite. I read him 13 times a night. Aeneas gets it. I can feel it. She moves shimmering with heat in June. Now you're over me, wrapped in night. Drove the rim road by moonlight. Brazened blazing through atmosphere. Pocked tektites, peridot, olivine, scattered at the canyon edge. Thank you. This one's just called Dream Work, with a nod to Monty Python. These are the inner thighs of my thoughts. Secret prayers, private longings tonight. They look like buildings, some great public buildings, but they are the soft underbelly settling in for the night, ready to perform as the wish fulfillment of a suppressed desire. And who among us has not at some point set fire to a great public building? I know I have. Let's see here. This is a little heavier. I started to write a poem last September, about September 11th, and it didn't really get finished. Then the other day, a friend posted a picture taken in my hometown, kind of up on a hill, where you can look out and in the distance see the Manhattan skyline, and it got me going on this poem again. So here it is at this stage. Statistics of loss. 20 years out, still calculating human toll. Sicknesses adding insult. Hospice invitations. Pushing the heartbreaking totals much higher than the darkest of days in September. Do you remember the rescue work, the cleanup crews, umpteen truckloads breathing in? The numbers grew. Who is counting, totals mounting, 20 years out, human toll climbing. Other inventories surprise me. Paintings, photos, tapestries, historic letters, Hockney, Klee, Liechtenstein, Picasso. Did you know? A tapestry by Jean Miro. Royal riot of color, hung in Tower 2 since 74, now is no more. Somewhere in the rubble, Rodin's Three Shades, a piece of it found near the fuselage of a plane. Cast of The Thinker, discovered at Fresh Kills landfill, only to disappear again before it could be returned to the owner. Letters Helen Keller penned, photographic negatives, heirloom rugs from the Middle East, lost in ash, crumpled steel, rocket fuel, and sacred remains. Statistics of loss, by floor, by nationality, beloveds we cannot hold and laugh with, sacred remains, each one priceless, stirring works of art. Okay, one last one. Take us out of that a little bit. No comment. In this dream, I'm wandering a vast stretch of desert. Make my way across an arroyo, scramble up a little rise, scrubby with creosote and ocotillo. Among other rocks, feathers, shells, crystals, fetish offerings, a roughly wrought grave. The stone reads, Edward Paul Abbey, 1927. Ooh, the wind. 1927 to 1989. No comment. This triggers a measure of lucidity. Aware now, I'm dreaming. Scrutinize my surroundings. From my heavy canvas pack, unearth a half-full pint of wild turkey, rich, skin-prickling aroma, amber liquid heats all the way down. Several sips later, pour the rest for him. In homage, coyote howl. Dreamscape shadows shift. Turkey vultures arrive, riding thermals in eternal unrest. Thank you.
And thank you, Lisa. And now Naomi will be reading a few poems. Woo!
Thank you. Hello. Well, it's bright up here.
You're right.
Oh, thank you. And just your reflection. Do I have to do like an introduction or anything, or should I just start? Oh, I love that. Well, I guess I'll introduce myself. My name is Naomi. I do host poetry for Revolutionary Grounds every first Friday of every month, 5 o'clock, if you want to come join me. I love hearing everything. Anything and everything. I think it's so much fun. So I'm very spiritual in nature, so buckle in, because we're going to feel our feelings. The truth is, I don't like who I am when I allow you to hurt me, to let my walls come down in hopes of an answer. The truth is, I still feel unworthy of my mission and purpose, as if the universe has the wrong person. I don't feel special, more like a speck misplaced in the cosmos. The truth is, awakening spiritually isn't easy, wasn't meant to be. But through awareness, your mindset shifts and the clarity starts to show little by little that easy and hard have no definition. The truth is, I don't believe I'm enough to make a difference, enough to ascend and become one with spirit. The truth is, I have no idea what I'm doing. Forgotten in the fog of dark matter, I can't see my reflection. The truth is, this matters so much, breathing has become suffocating. The truth is, I'm still learning the process of healing. To constantly rise can be exhausting. The truth is, I'm tired. The light can be blinding and the dark can be consuming. I'm not moving, but somehow evolving. The truth is, I thought about running. To say no, to never fight, to walk away from your love and my own. The truth is, there is no right or wrong, only growth through lessons, and I can't concentrate when I feel myself disappearing. The truth is, my light is needed, and I can't seem to figure out how to do that, how to move, how to speak, how to be kind in my fullest. The truth is, I feel imbalanced, as if my scales broke and now I'm doomed to an eternity of the absence of love. The truth is, I'm dying to be reborn. Thank you. All right, I got another one. You guys ready? This is for your soulmates out there, for people that want someone else. I got you. I waste away my day thinking about you, so I don't have to focus on my own faults. I can see how you'd smile at me with wrinkles in the corner of your kind blue eyes. I can imagine the way your inner child twinkles in the sun when you see the world take flight. I can hear you whisper, I love you, in your native tongue. I would much rather romanticize the idea of my soulmate than the reality of the truth that I am my own. I am the one who will be at each hello and goodbye to every phase of the moon. I am the one who will share in all my home-cooked meals that make me thankful for the creation of my hands. I will be the one to hold myself when the rain pours and my body numbs from the unreleased pain. I will be the one to hear every word, every song, every curse. I will live with all the mistakes, the heartache, the doubt, the love, the death and rebirth of every cell. I will be the one keeping myself up at night, sighing with confusion. Why am I so lonely? When I think of my soulmate, I always seek another person, someone that will show me a love that I've always been missing. How will I know? When I do meet them, will I self-sabotage? I'm still learning to accept and nurture the parts of me I thought I never could. Will I lose myself in your fame? Who will I be then? The fear of the unknown is surrounding me. I want someone else because I'm not being the person I need right now, and I'm not allowing my truth to settle because I've always searched for it within others. My forced confidence is a mask. Pieces of me are waiting, I know. My highest self is so evolved, seems unattainable at times. There's no way to process how the divine chose me. I want someone to believe in me, admire me, love me, understand consciousness in our own. There is nothing they wouldn't do for me. Am I searching for a soulmate, or am I searching for the love I never received as a child? What version of me will finally bring myself full contentment? How tall will I stand when I finally give myself everything and worthiness gleams from my every pore? Why must I search outside of myself for comfort, for love, for joy? Do I not believe in my own light? Do I not believe in my story? Do I not believe that I am entrusted heaven's glory? Do I not believe that I am already whole? Do I not believe that I am source? I am my own true love, my own future, my own life path to adore. I am the cosmic mirror. Inside of me is the paradise of peace I've been searching for. Thank you. All right, now I'm gonna pull in your family generational trauma. You guys ready? And if you guys speak Spanish, welcome to my ride. If you don't, I'm sorry, you just get to enjoy the sound. I've always felt lonely around my family. Always quiet, always observing, always the responsible one. All these self-images of who I should be, how I should dress, how I should speak. Más español, be thinner, be famous, sálvanos. My family never really gave me a sense of safety, una tranquilidad en que podía respirar, always on guard. Had to learn to make them laugh. Humor became my armor. Can we embrace now without it aching? My family is the one who abused me the most. Por el amor que tengo es incondicional. They didn't know any better. Todavía no sabemos. My childhood holds secrets that people will deny. Guilt and gaslighting go hand in hand. My family gave me some of my favorite memories. 2 older brothers that shaped my personality, cousins of all ages growing and laughing over our parents. The ones I grew with became my best friends. So thankful we're a part of each other's stories. Mi familia es parte de mí. So many generations of men and women trying to survive emotionally. Forgiveness was never passed on. So many questions of why and the answers were buried, never to resurface. No dejas entrar a la luz. We lost touch with our roots. Con la sangre, con el sol, con la madre tierra, el espíritu y la muerte. How do we go back while still pushing forward? How do we heal our inner child inside of us that still holds us screaming in a closet, unseen tears that were called ugly? How confused I was when you would say, I love you, eres mi vida. We stopped listening to our voices of truth, became wrapped in a web of control that leaves scars of abandonment and worthlessness. My family is my strength. All the life lessons I've experienced has led me here, choosing to help bring in the peace we've prayed for. Mi familia es la razón porque estoy tan conectada al universo. Through my isolation, my loneliness, my frustrations and resentment, through my anger and tears, through my smiles and gratitude. My family is problematic, tóxica con manipulación, constantly speaking and judging others, never willing to pause, to breathe, to feel the pain of their own reflection. Compasión nunca fue una guía. We are selfish. Egos of powerful women going insane with jealousy. ¿Quién tiene la mejor vida? Why does being better even matter? All of you are loved. Absent fathers, absent parenting, so many choices, so many lies, so many drunk nights lost in lust for self-gratification. Lock the doors where the children are sleeping. El dinero no importa cuando tu hermana fue asesinada. Our ancestors have always been watching, waiting for our generation to break this cycle, to choose love instead of envidios, kindness instead of injusticia. We are here to unionize colonized and colonizer, abused and the abuser. We are both and beyond our past. We are here to shed the light for ourselves, para perdonar, for us to finally live in full comfortability. Let the universe bring justice. El karma siempre equilibrará. Let yourself find your peace. Remember, we chose this life, but it's up to us to live it. Thank you. Thank you.
Back in the house.
Yes. I got the front of the house. I am never mournful when you leave my kingdom. I know when you return home, our bond will be stronger in love through your human wisdom. I live within your consciousness. I see your efforts. Find rapture in your tears, my child. Evolution comes from accepting forgiveness. Be easy. Live with full intention. I am here with you, serene within the odyssey of your human ascension. You are never alone. I will follow you until the end begins again for all creation. Thank you. I'm gonna leave you guys with this last piece of wisdom. It's pretty short, so thank you for listening. Just a reminder, you are doing everything exactly how you're supposed to in order to grow. Water yourself with awareness. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Naomi. We're going to take about a 5-minute break so you can get refreshed, get something more to eat and drink, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Thanks. All right, well, Charles is around here somewhere, and I can't. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, you put it right there. Hey everybody, I'm Charles Alexander. I've been practicing poetry in many ways in Tucson for a long time, and I know what it takes to do things like what is starting here tonight, and I really want to thank David for doing it, and Thomas for opening the space and opening his heart. And all of you for coming here, all involved. So I wasn't planning on doing this when I came tonight, but I'm here, so might as well. And luckily I brought the computer since I had to do Cynthia's images, so I have work here. I've been writing for most of the first part of this year, tiny little poems and stringing them together. Haiku, but if haiku means to you a highly disciplined and unforgiving form, in my mind it is a very forgiving, flexible, accepting and spontaneous form. So, tied in a knot that stays a knot, today is not the day. An equal sign, but what is on the left and the right? No sign, no guide, no light, but there or here, no corridor, just a field. A love supreme, no more, no less. Hawks nest in the Aleppo trees. A love supreme, no less, no more. Seals play in the waves. How far can the noisy engine go? Oh, gone now. I altered that one on the spot. Wither, and when it wanes, the rain falls. Rain falls again in a desert town. No line, no time. One divided by one does not speak well of the mathematics of wall. Virus, a season word, all through the year, and then again. Again the hawks carry sticks and leaves to the high branches. 4 small javelina colliding fur specks on a small planet. Incendiary words or letters or maybe just phonemes. Who says words do not burn? Have you seen the red world? The red world? Not a bang. Yes, a bang and an electric band along a former wall. Maybe and maybe not, but who gets to decide? A paper document allows one to cross a line or receive a meal. So much language every day, and now a single word. A single word sings in wings, in wind, finds flight. Why do you think speech happens? Because we can. You can. A word, a wind, a wood, all permeable like the water, the life. A poet restores the language. That's what I heard today. I heard today a word and pray a bird, and birth occurred. Afternoon of light, through windows, words in the gusty air. Check your battery, will you please, but don't back up. Reverse the engines. Verse invites the errant winds behind the sails. Thank you. And then I was going to do a poem, not by myself, but by the great Canadian poem B.P. Nichol, who was a good friend and someone I published in one of the very first Trax Press books, and was kind of a brilliant performer too. And he wrote this called Poem, and it goes like this. What is the poem is inside my body, 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 body. What is the poem is inside my head, inside my head, inside my head, inside my head. What is the poem is inside my shoulders, 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 shoulders. What is the poem is inside my hips, inside my hips, inside my hips. Inside my hips. And what is the poem is inside my elbows, 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 elbows. What is the poem is inside my knees, inside my knees, inside my knees, inside my knees. And what is the poem is inside my fingers, 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 fingers. What is the poem is inside my toes, inside my toes, inside my toes, inside my toes. And what is the poem is inside my thinking, 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 thinking. What is the poem is inside my heart, inside my heart, inside my heart, inside my heart. And what is the poem is inside my breathing, 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 breathing. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Charles. That was great. And so now we have Eugene.
Hey everybody. So When it comes to songwriting, the poetry part really kills me. I agonize over it. I almost take pleasure writing music, the music side, the chords and the melody. But man, when it comes to the lyrics, I struggle really hard with that. But it does come out, and it's worth the fight. So the song's about. It was going to be about somebody in particular, but it ended up being bigger than that, and it developed into kind of mankind's or humankind's dependence on women. So, can you hear that? Can you hear that well enough? Good enough. When the world is beating on my back, anger's club has worn me down. When their darkness overwhelms the light, aching knees upon the broken ground, there's a place in your arms for weary heads to lay, far from the toil and torments of the day. The arms open wide, spanning the stormy night. The arms open wide, in you I can hide. In your arms, in your arms, in your arms. In your arms 1,000 souls reside, embraced and sheltered from the raging tide. When the sun is set on my western dreams, only orange haze remains. A mist surrounds my heavy heart, yearning for a desert rain. There's a light in your eye, I follow through the night, on the path where your tender touch warms me with delight. The eyes of the night, shining in the night. Eyes of the night, you I see right. In your eyes, in your eyes, in your eyes. In your eyes the glacial rivers flow to your meadows where our children grow. There's a place in your heart, the age-old flame still burns, grandmother's embers glowing as ever were. Souls of the ancients carry me home with their song, the song of a home. With you I belong. You're my home. You're my home. You're my home. At our door I have your hand in mine. At your feet I lay the wreaths of time. about a relationship that went as expected, but unexpected, but the way things go. That's a little bit hopeful. Da 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 da. Two whose hearts were one, bright as the sun, our hands held so strong. Forever they said the tarot was red, but now despair in your eyes, a quivering sigh. Someday I know we'll walk in the sun. Someday I know we'll walk in the sun. The haze of our years, the lines on my face, the salt of your tears. God knows we tried. When words are denied, your delicate eyes say you'll go. Pass through the door. I know you know more, but someday I know we'll walk in the sun. Someday I know we'll walk in the sun. Someday I know we'll walk in the sun. Someday I know. Someday I know. Someday. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh, oh. All right, should I go upbeat or downbeat? I'm trying to read the crowd. All right, I'll go a little upbeat. I wrote this about a friend of mine. Yeah, another friend of mine. I saw him one day and I was not feeling well. And he said, "Oh, you look like shit." And I said, "Yeah, I'm feeling I didn't sleep last night." He said, "Ah, you're an open book." I thought, oh no, he said, "You're an open book, my friend." I said, "Hey, that would be a good song lyric." So I thought about writing a song about me. And I started making a list. What makes me an open book? And I started listing it. I'm like, this isn't me. And I really realized, oh no, I have another friend, Paul Thomas. This is PT. This is my friend Paul Thomas I'm writing about. Okay, it's going to be about him. So yeah, this is about my friend Paul. Like so many times you've done for me, that drum of yours is gold indeed. time. The long way home. Oh, the wind in my face. Like so many times you've done for me. You're an open book, my friend. Painted scene, alpine cone, open door, open home. No surprise, devil in your eye. Soon I know that right smile will arrive. Take my wheel anytime. The long way home. Oh, the wind in my face. Like so many times you've done for me. You're an open book, my friend. The warm setting sun at our backs, shadows tall. Oh, the long quiet road. The road will still calling to me. With or without my friend, my friend, oh, my friend.
Great job.
Thank you. That's what I like of it.
Oh, thanks. No problem, man. Thank you, Eugene. And now we're going to have Jefferson Carter, another local poet.
There's a line of Latin in this poem. I've translated it. It means do as I say, not as I do. It's called Walden. Most evenings, Thoreau would stroll the 2 miles to his mother's house, where he'd enjoy a nice home-cooked meal. Does this mean the mass of men don't lead lives of quiet desperation? That you shouldn't simplify your life? Not at all. Don't forget our most moral philosophers admonished us in Latin. Fac quod dico non quod facio. While Thoreau himself endorsed rhodiola rosea, an adaptogenic herb that reduces cynicism 40%. In all but the most severe cases. I finally found a group I could identify with. It's like the really old white male poets, so I'm very happy about that. But I've been writing about it. I don't want to write about getting old, but it seems to be my obsession. Bob Hickok recently is an older white poet. He wrote an essay about being sort of shuffled back into the background, and he described the arc of the famous old white male poet, or white male poet as foreground, background, in the ground. And my arc, I think, is background, in the ground. Shotgun. The last time I felt good, taking out the garbage, I wobbled against our car, bumping its side view mirror, which sagged, sounding like a broken wind chime. When I asked the service rep how much to fix it, with a straight face, he replied, $650. I bet he'd never before had an elderly gentleman shout, "Are you fucking nuts?" and lay rubber as he vacated the premises. I felt good. My hearing's gone, my eyesight's going, as if my body wants to say farewell before I'm ready. Getting old's a bore. Hearing or writing about it, even worse. Ask Hemingway, who ate his shotgun as if growing old doesn't beat the alternative. Sometimes I feel like a family dollar store in a dying strip mall. But why dwell on it? Oh look, a roadrunner.
And now Cameron. Thank you, Jefferson. And this is Cameron.
Hey everybody. It's great to see you all. Thanks for coming out tonight. It's an honor to get to share this gravelly stage with some incredible talent. I've been thinking about Sarah's line all evening about, it just baffles me, people who can like play music and speak words at the same time. I think that's some sort of witchcraft, and my tiny little brain can only do one of them. And so I once tried to be a musician. Like I played drums when I was a kid, but it really is a lot of shit to carry. So I've just been thinking about that all night. I'm gonna read some poems to you from this little chat book. Take a copy before you go. They're back on the table. It's called Apology Engine, and I thought maybe just to begin, would you all indulge me in a little thought experiment before we start? Yeah. Okay. So you need to close your eyes, and I want you to picture somebody that you think owes you an apology. And now I want you to picture someone that deserves apology from you. So that's what this book is. I think I don't really want to say anything about it except for it's kind of a cubist treatment of apology, like thinking about the people and things and places and anything that needs or deserves an apology. And now I will read to you. If you have ever felt the urge to apologize for something you think you didn't do, know the name for this feeling is moral responsibility. It is wise to trust this feeling and apologize anyways, sincerely. Sometimes I want to apologize to my older brother for being such an awful father. I did not personally force him and his friends to kneel and pick weeds in the backyard during his 15th birthday party, but my happy childhood scores his knees like sharp rocks and broken beer bottles. 3 times I have tried to convince other men to let me hitch my sorrow to theirs. My failure represents a failure of scale. I do not like to be a man, but when I write, we must become something new, I get the sense I'm failing to accept responsibility. If you want to clean an engine, you must take it apart piece by piece and remember the function of everything you touch. Before I can even begin to assemble the engine, the very first thing I must do is find each apology. I have buried, hidden, and disguised them all. To begin, I will tell you about the buried apologies. Most of them are resting in shallow, obvious mounds, the soil loose and settling. Others are at the bottom of deep pits, and these take days to dig out. My palms get raw from shoveling. These apologies are small, barely the size of a marble and heavier than lead. When I find one, I inspect it, clean it, and try to recall its origin. But these reunions are rushed, since every apology I find will inevitably remind me of another nearby. I keep them in my pocket like loose change, and if anyone asked, I would insist the work was unpleasant. To be truly sorry, there are conditions. You must, 1, believe you are at fault, and 2, maintain a real desire to change. Amends are optional, have varying effects. A wrong without adequate compensation lacks the requisite sorrow. Purchasing small indulgences, keep the change. How much am I willing to pay to avoid an admission of guilt? Caveat venditor. The efficacy of an apology is higher when apologies are more costly, the consequence of running on scripts and heuristics. Caring only to maximize consumption. You want a magic bullet? Show me the money. A wrong with a coupon. Enormous cruelty followed by flowers and candy and 5-carat diamonds. We can apologize directly to poems for so much, but they rarely apologize back to us. Some of the poems I love most are horrifying to me. Please tell me, for the love of God, why is the peignoir so complacent? I beg the poems for closure and tell them how much they're hurting me. I buy daffodils and chocolate at the grocery store, leave them at the poem's doorstep, but the gesture is never reciprocated. While every poem has the potential to make an apology, like people, most of them are actually so busy apologizing to themselves that you'd need to practice a rare patience. Choosing to forgive oneself removes the distance between the ideal self and the real self. The poem's ideal self eats mostly quinoa, alternates between cardio and free weights 3 days a week. The poem's real self looks in the mirror and tries not to see you in the reflection. Who is going to speak first? My therapist says trauma is simply an encounter with something that we cannot make sense of. I struggle to make sense of this. My therapist is skilled, practices the technique of self-disclosure, establishes rapport with me by confiding about her own trauma. As a young girl, growing up on a farm, she witnessed the long, bloody birth of a calf in a barn. No explanation is the default. She says that trauma is stored and released in certain parts of the body, which is why we cry unexpectedly during yoga, arching and bowing our backs through the familiar sequence, cat, cow. Why being overcome with feeling makes our throats shake, the vagus and the vague. If poetry troubles sense and multiplies the senses, that would make poets the professional purveyors of trauma. Just think, teachers, performers, and poets laureate are paid to drive around traumatizing people, even being thanked for the service. I have a plan. At the beginning and end of every poem, every work of art, the person responsible for it should get on their knees and beg for forgiveness. I'm sorry I've never been to China. I said this to a man I met after a lecture. He was a true hyper-polyglot. He said beautiful things to me in French, then Arabic, English, Spanish, Mandarin. He drank beer, and I took little sips of each description of the places I'd honestly made no sincere effort to visit. What I assume are the clouds above the mountains in Canton, the smell of tea leaves roasting in a wok. I think he took offense at how little I understood, despite the pains he'd taken to learn to communicate. I took offense at the way he spoke to himself through me, though I too love to sing a little louder in the shower if I know there's someone listening in the next room. And we knew that we would never see each other again, and it is meaningless to apologize to all the people you never finish revealing yourself to. This one's for the teachers out there. The professor is mild-mannered, dresses in tasteful khakis and lumpy shoes. He's the kind of person who leans approachably, without any irony or self-possession, against his desk at the front of the room. We are a mixed class. Half of us are writers, who are embarrassed and ashamed because we spend too much time writing and not enough time studying literature. It's histories, theories, great pasty men. And the other half are devoted to the study of literature, but too embarrassed and ashamed to admit that they want to write themselves. Who apologizes to whom? The professor says, "The thing about you writers is that you're always thinking, how can I use this?" What he means to say is that our ability to operate shamelessly, to separate reality from responsibility, to consume, is limitless. Our loved ones die in a fire, and all we want is a flawless description of the fire. I crackle in my plastic chair. The professor is not wrong. I'm sorry for trying to write a poem about being Chinese. Well, half. I'm sorry for trying to write a poem as a half Chinese person, or at the very least, I'm sorry for trying to write a half poem about being a person. It's tricky to apologize for certain things. Even when I write a respectable poem, I have the feeling there is nothing Chinese about it. The familiar schoolyard taunt gets at the heart of things. Chinese, Japanese, dirty-nese. Muddled, lacking purity. And how can you love such a thing? It was the same question that came up when the poem was not a poem, but a spiral of prose. Am I related to you? Should we hug? And would it matter to anyone that despite being an utter snowflake in my dress and attitudes towards food and approaches to poetry, my middle name illuminates my body like a heat-stroked summer moon? I didn't even know I was a golden horse until my friend forced me to Google zodiac for June. No way to be Chinese and not in the same sentence, which is why I'm grateful for the line. If there's anything that understands the dissonance, it is enjambment. A muddy pause to crease a thankful split in I. Is it more pleasing, pluralized? Look at these. If you've never heard Flowing Streams, the tune by Guqin player Guan Pinghu, I'm sorry, but you must stop what you're doing and listen to it now. At over 7 minutes, it is the longest track on the golden disc that drifts through space aboard the Voyager spacecraft. Listen to it now, if you can, and consider that it is the only excerpt of Chinese music on the golden disc, and that the song contains, at its core, such subtlety that you would never guess how poor was Guan, or that he kept afloat by fixing instruments and furniture. Perhaps now you can imagine Guan sanding, destitute, the leg of a rosewood chair. In rhythmic sweeps, red sawdust cosmos floating off. Guan gradually forgets, age closing in, which rhythms one should pick upon the bridgeless zither's web, and what it might be worth. Guan decaying as he wonders if there's such a thing as means that won't retreat, as he retreats, a needle passing through the golden cut towards the silence of some central point. Thanks, y'all. It's after 10 p.m., so I'm gonna maybe just do a couple more here, but there are some that involve some musical elements that I feel are maybe in conversation with some of the other work today, so I'll read a couple of those. We should have coordinated musical accompaniment with all of our guitar players. I don't know if any of you have heard the live acoustic version of Kurt Bain's All Apologies, but this one goes out to Kurt. Find my nest of salt. If you've ever had a hard time believing an apology can also be a battering ram, I submit to you as evidence Kurt Cobain's 1993 acoustic performance of All Apologies in New York. Everything's my fault. In the millennium's last decade, Nirvana proposes an ideal self to millions of boys deep in the furious trance of adolescence. Aqua, seafoam, shame. I can hear the incongruity of Cobain's growl against Laurie Goldston's cello on the background. And after so many years, why is this song still stuck in my head? One explanation, the lyrics are conspicuously literary. What else could I write? I don't have the right. What else could I be? All apologies. Like any good apology, the song is a mixture of weariness and persistence, boredom and urgency, resignation folded into desperation. In her criticism of Billy Collins' poem, Taking Off Emily Dickinson's Clothes, Mary Ruefle confides, because poems are my life, a great many of them, both others and my own, piss me off. This is one of them. I would extend that sentiment to songs, the more confident, more stylish, born slightly earlier fraternal twins of poems, and I would add that many of the songs that piss me off are also songs I love. All Apologies is one of these. Especially egregious is the defeatist koan that wraps the track up in a tender fade-out, an ever-weakening riddle on repeat. All in all is all we are. All in all is all we are. All in all is all we are. What frightens me the most about Cobain's climax is how it fizzles. Comes out the tailpipe of the song like exhaust. Apology reduced to assertion. We are everything there is, and it's not much. I'll just do one more. Thanks, everybody. Once again, I mistake place for pattern, progress. This next apology will feel abrupt, an engine stall. Here we are. As is the case with any delicate machine, when it breaks down, you and your passengers must get out, hang your heads, and stand beside the smoking heap. Let us decorate the failure with our perfect bodies. If you are patient, maybe someone who knows more than you will pass by. Maybe they will roll down their window. Maybe they will kill you. Maybe they will lend a hand. Maybe this will mean you have one more apology to make. Thanks.
And thank you all for coming. That is the end. Please feel free. Thank you. Yeah. Please. Yep. And we will be back next month at 8. And please check out the book table. Cameron will probably sign his book for you if you ask. And please get some food. Thank you all. See you next month.